The global economic issues triggered by China's slowdown and geopolitical issues in the Middle East and other parts of the world have added more weight to the meetings during the 46th World Economic Forum. Editor-in-Chief of Globe Asia, Shoaib Kagda, talked to the chairman of McKinsey and Company Asian offices just before it closes down on global growth and how China, India and Indonesia continue to be growth vehicle for the region.
Mr. Kevin Snyder, thank you for joining us on Jakarta Globe News Channel. We are here in beautiful Davos, but the mood this year is not as bright as it is now in terms of the business outlook for the world. Yeah. What is your take on how things are shaping up?
Well, I think the mood in Davos reflects the mood that I would share, which is the world is in a very uncertain period. We've said that before, but I think we really see it with energy this time. And it starts with the economic issues in China and how they reverberate. But it also, of course, includes the geopolitical issues and tensions in the Middle East, tensions around the world, and the secondary effects of those are very much colouring the way people are seeing things, and I think it has to colour the way we see things. All that said, I think we're still relatively optimistic about global growth. And I think it stems from believing that China is not about to hit a hard landing, it's experiencing a transition. It stems from the reality that Europe is actually, I think, this year better than it was last year, and clearly moving forward, having gone through a very painful period. And let's be honest, the United States continues to be an engine of growth for the rest of the world. If you put that together from an economic point of view, I would actually have some cautious optimism and be perhaps a bit more optimistic than the general sentiment here.
Well, that's really good to hear. I mean, you lead the McKinsey team in Asia. Yeah. As you said, China probably will have a softer landing, but it's still growth. Yeah. And India is also growing well. And of course, Indonesia, where we come from, is also posting good growth. Do you think the outlook for Asia over the longer or maybe medium to longer term is still very positive?
Well, what's very striking here in Davos about Asia is it's still seen as the engine for the rest of the world and when it comes to growth. So despite everything, and I think it's right to say that India in particular is being seen in a very positive light here. And the confidence of the Indian delegates to Davos is very obvious and infectious. And it's not misleading. It's true that India clearly has been going through a bit of a rebound and has a growth rate that I was very struck by Arun Jaitley, their finance minister, saying even though it's good, it should be even better. But I think India clearly is a positive story. Indonesia, I think while it will have inevitably the gyrations that come with an economy that does have some connection to global energy prices, nevertheless remains a vehicle for growth. And I think if you put Indonesia and India together and say they are growth engines for the region, China still is too. It may be that the growth rate has dropped, but the absolute growth is enormous. And that we have to remember. So those three economies are clearly anchoring Asia, but it'd be wrong not to mention Vietnam, about which there's quite a positive buzz here, and the Philippines, both of which have actually been doing quite well. So Asia, for all the challenges, will be the growth engine of the world.